Hello and welcome to the Front Office Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Cameron, and as always, the show is sponsored by Tees and Trees Clothing. Tees and Trees is where we stand on business. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you may be viewing the show. We appreciate you checking in with the Front Office Podcast. It's going to be Monday. Don't ask me for the date. I'm terrible with dates, but it's the Monday after the Timberwolves played Game 7 with the Nuggets, and also we had a game with the Knicks and the Pacers earlier. So we're going to talk about both games and then talk about what we got left with the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals. I think, I'm still kind of getting my rhythm with this thing, but, at the beginning of the show, I kind of give grievances or say whatever I got an issue with. Reggie Miller, Hall of Famer, Reggie Miller, who I respect and feel like is one of the most underrated players in NBA history, honestly, just because he didn't win a ring. Had some comments to make about players not taking accountability, which I don't disagree. I don't feel like he doesn't have the resume to speak on certain situations like that. I think he absolutely is the person who can speak to it because he played so long in the NBA. He's been in those locker rooms. He's been in those situations. My thing with Reggie is, put a stamp on it, put a name on it, man. Like, don't do the coward shit. Like, that's very cowardly to get on TNT calling a game and taking a shot at somebody and then don't even have the nerve to say their name. Mike Wilbon, I can respect because he actually put names to it. You know what I mean? Even though I know it was a statement because that's your homeboy, Darvin Ham I'm referring to, is his homeboy, and he felt some type of way. So what a real homeboy would do, he would speak up for his homeboy. I don't have a problem with people criticizing LeBron or anyone in that sense of it. But, if you're going to criticize, bro, like, put a name on it. Put a name on it. Like, don't do the coward shit. And I just thought that was super cowardly on his part. But, again, respecting his opinion, maybe you're right. I've personally seen LeBron say, this is on me, blah, blah, blah. Eddie House been having a lot to say. And I think it's what you do when people are on the way out. You know what I mean? You can take a shot when you feel like they're at their weakest, and that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, again, LeBron James is a grown man. He can speak up for himself. That's not something that I'm willing to do on the podcast. Maybe when we get some other guests on here, we can kind of go do a little back and forth. But while I'm just kicking the facts to y'all, I'm not going to get on the soapbox. It's just something that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Just like the Caitlin Clark slander that I see on Facebook, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It's my opinion. You know what I mean? Just like the people who post it have their opinions, they're entitled to it, which is why I don't comment. I don't engage in going back and forth because at that point in time, it's kind of not even worth my time. I'm not going to discuss how her presence in the WNBA is actually helping all of the other players. Even if they're better, her presence is bringing so much attention to that league that people are going in and they're like, oh, this girl right here, she's super good. Or I didn't know about this girl or this young lady that plays for this team. You know what I mean? Like, it's bringing attention to the sport, which is what it's supposed to do. I think a lot of people are upset because, they feel like she's being goated. And some analysts are taking the shit way too far. She's not the GOAT. She's not the GOAT. She had an amazing college basketball career. She scored more points than anybody else. Do I think she's the GOAT of college basketball? I definitely think that is an argument. I do. I know about all the other ones, Cheryl Miller, Kelsey Plum, Cheryl Swoops. It's been a lot of great women, Dawn Staley. It's been a lot of great women, Lisa Leslie, that have come through women's basketball or women's college basketball specifically. But I do think she has probably been the most impactful. The fact that she broke the scoring record is crazy. To go to 2 national title games, not win, but I would say she's the GOAT of college basketball. But WNBA is going to be a different story, and she's going to have to adjust. It's going to be some struggles. Target is on her back, but we're going to see what kind of competitor she is. So like I said, again, I'll say it one more time. When she start getting it and she start figuring it out, keep that same energy. All right? I'm on record. A'ja Wilson is the best basketball player in the world, women's basketball player in the world. There's no doubt about that. But it is nothing wrong with getting some extra attention to the women's sport who needs it so they can get bigger contracts, bigger TV deals, and get the pay that they are supposed to be getting. All right? Enough of the soapbox. Let's get to the shits, man. We got the first game, Indiana Pacers and the Knicks. Yes, the Knicks. Yes, the Knicks. Shout out to all the New York fans out there, man. Y'all let me down. I picked the Knicks to win this series. And the Pacers came out and they just punched y'all in the mouth, honestly. I mean, I know Brunson broke his hand in the third quarter, but y'all were down a dub, I think, going into halftime or close to it. They had control of that game from the jump. I just thought they played with more intensity. And I just think the injuries caught up with New York, honestly. I think New York had an amazing season. They have a lot to build on. They got a lot of cap room. They did a good job. They really did do a good job this year. I think you need to make sure DiVincenzo gets paid hard. All of those guys. I'm not sure what you're going to do with Randall. I think you can see you can kind of win without him and maybe get some more pieces that you need. Or do you stay loyal and keep him? That's a question for the front office and what they're going to do. But the Pacers have been a team I've been speaking highly on all year. I'm not surprised that they're in the Eastern Conference Finals, even though I picked the Knicks. Their style of play. They got a lot of athletes. I think the Mathurin kid is out for the season. I think he's a young rookie or maybe a second-year player. A good player, though. Really good player. So they're injured, too. Halliburton's battling the back spasms and things of that nature. But I thought their team stepped up when they needed to. Siakam is finally starting to come around, having some big moments, getting some confidence. Miles Turner playing some defense. He still shoots way too many fucking three-pointers for me. But, again, good player, together team, young team. They did what they needed to do to advance and beat the New York Knicks. And the Knicks don't have anything to hold their head about, honestly. You got blowed out in Game 7 at home, but it just wasn't in the cards for y'all this year. That's all. Now, you guys have Pacer fans. I actually don't know not one Pacer fan. I'm lying. Maybe my homeboy Kendall. I think he might be a Pacer fan. But other than that, that's it. So I don't know a lot of you guys, but y'all got a tall task. Boston is without Porzingis, and they've already reported that he's not going to make Game 1 or Game 2. Boston has the home court advantage. I think the first game is on Tuesday. That'll be, by the time this episode airs, that'll be tomorrow night. I'm going to take Boston in this series. I do think it's going to be hard fought. I think Indiana's going to be able to push them with their style of play. The athletes that they have. I like the matchups. I just don't know if you have the matchups to deal with Tatum and Brown. Holiday is going to more than likely be assigned to guard Halliburton, or he'll probably see a good bit of Holiday and Derek White. Al Horford can play down low. They got the other guy from Memphis. I forget his name at the moment, but it's going to be a good series. I do. I think it's going to go 6. I don't really see it going 7. I like Boston 4-2. And I like Boston to get to the finals, which is what, myself and a lot of other people have been predicting. But we're going to see. We're going to see what Tatum's made about. Not made about. I think it's a chance for him to kind of put a real stamp on who he is, his legacy, what's going on. But it needs to start Tuesday night. They don't need to go out there and let Indiana punch him in the face Game 1. That's not going to be a good look, and that's not going to be what you want to do. You don't want to give this team too many opportunities. I thought the Knicks had a golden chance to close them out in Indiana when they went up 3-2, and they couldn't do it. And Kenneth Pompey, that's my guy from Verizon, man. But he was hyped. Facebook post and all this and all that, and I guarantee if I jump on Facebook right now, I won't find not one post from him. Not one. Shout out to my man Ken, Carlos, Derek, Chewy. Yeah, it's over with. I don't want to hear no excuses. Next man up. No, it's not Tibbs' fault. It's not Tibbs' fault that Jalen Brunson broke his hand in the third quarter. It's not Tibbs' fault that OG had hamstring injuries, or Randall got hurt, or Josh Hart got hurt in Game 6. None of this shit is Tibbs' fault. Now, if you want to talk about X's and O's and you think the offense isn't great, and that's why you should move on from Tibbs, cool. But if I'm New York, you need to stay put with Tibbs. You need to keep Tibbs. Tibbs is a good coach. They've developed an identity up there in New York, and it works. And I think they're going to be a team to deal with for a very long time, especially with Brunson being the number one guy. So, but shout out to the Knicks, man. Shout out to the Pacers. Make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. We shall see. It starts on Tuesday. And just quick, let's see. I picked the Knicks and I picked the Celtics, so that's 1-1. I picked the Timberwolves, who won, and so I was 3-1 in semifinal matchups, I should say. And I'll take that. But let's move over to the West. We're going to start with OKC and Dallas. The OKC and Dallas series kind of played out like I thought, 4-2 Dallas. I just thought OKC is just maybe a year and a player or two away. They worry me when they get into tight game situations and everybody kind of stands around and watches Shea. When Jalen Williams is being extra aggressive and he's not being passive, that they're a way more dangerous team. And I thought he was really aggressive Saturday night. It's just Kyrie was very good in the second half, as he's been the whole series, and Luka was special. Derek Lively had a big game. Gafford, P.J. Washington, great trade at the trade deadline. Dallas has a deep team. They have a deep team, and they're going to be a force to reckon with in the Western Conference Finals. They play a brand of basketball that's free-flowing. Everybody gets involved. You get contributions from everybody, and nobody is really just sitting around watching. And that's, I thought, was the difference in that series, where I thought Shea got to cooking and he had to create for everybody. Not saying that those guys aren't doing their job. It's just, when things get tighter and you slow down and the score gets a little bit tighter, you start seeing who has more pieces. And I thought that's what you saw in the Dallas series, and that's why Dallas is moving on and OKC is not. But they got a lot of draft picks, a lot of cap money. I think they're in a really good situation, and they'll be at the top of the West again next year. Maybe not number one, but they'll definitely be close to the top. But the game of the night, or the biggest game of the day, the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. Now, I got to be all the way honest about this, all right, because there's people at my job that kind of watch the podcast, so I don't want to come across as fake or hedging bets or anything like that. In the office pool, I picked Denver. I picked Denver to get all the way to the finals against the Boston Celtics. That was my pick. I didn't get a chance to talk about the Minnesota and Denver series until after Game 1. After I saw Game 1, I was like, I don't know, Denver might. And then my homeboy Jizzle had been telling me, like, look, man, I'm telling you, Minnesota they ready. We both agree Ant's a dog. But we questioned Karl-Anthony Towns. We questioned Karl-Anthony Towns because Karl-Anthony Towns has a vibe about him that doesn't seem like it's ready for playoff basketball. And I'll just be all the way honest and stand on business. I was wrong. He had a really good series. He played great defense on Jokic. He made shots when he needed to make shots. He made big plays. He got rebounders. I actually picked him on my Prize Pick. Shout out to Prize Picks, man. I've been hitting all weekend. Shout out to Prize Picks. Y'all need to sponsorship Front Office Podcast. I made some money. I want to promote y'all. I want y'all to promote me. Holla at me. But I picked him to have, like, I think it was plus 11 rebounds and assists, but I hit less by accident. If I don't hit less by accident, I probably walking away with 315, 330, something like that. But regardless, I did hit twice over the weekend on some NBA stuff. But yeah, he's better. Whether he can take it to the next level, we're gonna see. I think this is a great matchup. I don't think it's an easy pick. Right now, I'm gonna take Minnesota, because I would love to see Minnesota go up against the Celtics, because I think that's basically the two faces of the NBA kind of going head-to-head for the title. It's what we were supposed to get with LeBron and Kobe, but we never got, honestly. This matchup has everything. if it goes down that way. But I do think it's going to be Minnesota. I'm going to say Minnesota in 6 just because they got the home court advantage. I think they're going to be a little too big down low as far as Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. Then you got Naz Reid, Kyle Anderson. I think the size of their wing players and their impact players is just going to overwhelm Dallas, even though Dallas has some real dogs over there. And Luka and Jason Kidd and Kyrie Irving, that's a lot of basketball IQ on one roster. You have to be careful. Minnesota should definitely celebrate this. This is big for the franchise. Hadn't happened in 20 years. But please get back to work. I thought Ant was horrible for the first 2 quarters. Just couldn't get in the rhythm. I thought Denver did a great job. Murray was having a big half. Jokic was doing what Jokic does. Denver was knocking down shots, and then all of a sudden, Ant gets a couple layups. Karl Anthony Towns makes some plays. Gobert. Shout out to Rudy Gobert, man, who took a lot of shit from everybody and sent the MVP home. Gobert had nothing close to what Jokic had tonight, but I promise you, his presence was the difference. Karl Anthony Towns' presence was the difference in that series, and that's why they were able to win a Game 7. They were down 20. And to come back on the road in Denver where it's already hard to win, that says a lot about their team. That's why I'm taking them. I'm going to take them to beat the Dallas Mavericks in a good series. 4-2 on the western side. I got the Wolves. On the eastern side, I got the Celtics. Hopefully we get that Celtics Wolves matchup in the finals, and that will be amazing. But yeah, my people had to work at the job. I took Denver to get all the way to the finals, but I believe I'm still leading the bracket. So I'm not sure what my postseason record is with series wins. I'll post it in a reel or something like that. But it's not bad. I've been on it. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick episode. I'm gonna do another one after each game 1. I think the Wolves play on Wednesday night and the Pacers and the Celtics play Tuesday night. So I'll try to record Wednesday night. Shout out to the Ridgeview track team, boys and girls. Both of them won the 4A state championship this weekend. We were in attendance. My kids didn't make it to the state championship. They made it to the lower state. Couldn't qualify, but, it's a team thing. Super happy for those kids, man. Shout out to the coaching staff. They did a great job. Won it in terrific fashion. They're moving up to 5A next year, so I'm excited to see what's going on for that. I'm your host, Marcus Cameron. This has been the Front Office Podcast. Tees and Trees is where we stand on business. We appreciate y'all checking in, man. I will see y'all again. The new episode will be out on Thursday. Peace.